Hi everyone, this is John. Sorry, my back's to you. We're going to use a ruler to measure our heads, or your child's head. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure around the fattest part of your head. And I've already measured mine, and it's 23 inches. So for the 23 inches, I'm going to have to add a ½ inch for seam allowance, ¼ inch on each side for seam allowance. If you want to add an elastic, you're going to do another inch to 2 inches more. That way when your elastic's stretched out, when it closes back up after it's sewn in, it'll gather up to the 23 inches. If your kid's head's 17 inches, you only do 17, and you divide it by that number. I already got my squares cut out, the red and the green, which will be 23 and a half, which mine are a little bit, you need to straighten out this line a little bit, ½ inch. Find my roller cutter. There, a little bit straighter. It doesn't have to be an exact science. What we want to do is we want to find the center of the red, and I'm going to use a marker because I don't mind using markers if I can find my marker. I have a mess behind me. So we're going to mark the ½ inch on the red, or a center mark, which you can find out where the center is on the ruler also. This is 24 inches, so that would be 12 inches, which is center. The reason we do the center is we need to find the center for where the embroidery design is going to be. Now we're going to cut about 2½ inches to 3 inches down. I'm going to do 3 inches, well, 2½ inches down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 2½ inches down with a pen on my red, and 2½ inches down with a pen on my red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a line all the way across, which this won't be seen because it'll be sewn out. And that line is your line where you mark down. So your embroidery is going to be 1½ inches wide, which is from here to here, and you want that centered on here. Now you're going to have to go up about 1½ inches, and then you have your 1½ inches right here. So your embroidery is going to be right in here, from this line to here. So that's about 2 inches that your embroidery is going to be in, and it's going to be in the center of this. It depends on how long your name is with the elf at a slant. You're going to have elf, and you're going to have the name, whatever length that is, and this will be in the center. And you're going to embroider the name right here within this 2 inches to 2½ inches, because you're going to need a seam allowance. I'm not going to embroider because everyone knows how to do the embroidery, so I'm just going to show you how to cut the tips. Now I have this at 24-inch length. Like I said, it depends on what your length. I'm going to get out of your way. Sorry. It depends on what your length is. So I want 6 points. So I'm going to turn this on and do 24 divided by 6 equals 4. So every 4 inches I want to make a point. So I'm going to take my ruler, and at every 4 inches I'm going to make a dot where the point's going to be. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and that's it. Your other point is going to be right up here. So, the same on this end, your other point will be up here. which you should have about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so actually your other point would be right about here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be an exact science. So now on the bottom part, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and half of 4 inches is about 2 inches. We're going to mark 2 inches, 2 inches. See, I'm lining up these marks, and then I'm putting the 2 inch right here. I'm lining up these 2 inch right there. And don't worry about the marker, it's going to be sewn out. 2 inches and 2 inches. Now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the dots. And the most important part is that you have these evenly spaced. If it's 17 inches, divided by 6 and evenly space it. No matter what your marks are. And the easiest way I find to cut these out is with my roller cutter, but most of you would be more comfortable cutting them out with probably hand scissors. Myself, I just do it really quickly up to the point. And cut that out. And if you go a little bit past it, it's not going to hurt it, because you're going to be doing this 1/4 seam allowance, which I'll show you how to sew these. And you definitely want to do your embroidery work before you cut the points and before you sew them together and all that stuff. You just want to do the embroidery work on the red, and it will be on this side. And once your embroidery work's done, you're actually going to put the green on top of the embroidery work, and you're going to sew your points up and down, and then you'll be turning it right side out, and when it's turned right side out, your embroidery work will be on the outside. And if you're worried about the marks, turn your stuff over and just do it on this side. Then your marks will be on the inside, and you won't have to worry about your marks showing if you're concerned about that. But this is the pointy part of the hat, which the bells will be sewn onto the tips. And then the second part of the hat is this. Now this part here is 2 pieces. So this is 24 inches. I need 2 pieces that are 12 inches long. So I have this here already. And I'm going to try to do it upside down. But it's already 12 inches wide. So I'm going to use a marker, and I'm going to mark it. I want to cut that open, so I'm going to cut that straight across, because that's where my fold is. I actually have 2 pieces back to back. As you can see, 2 pieces back to back. I want to come up, this is going to be about 2.5 inches high. So we're going to come up on this about 2 inches high, which is right here, and 12 inches, 2 inches high right here. So we're going to do a straight line. That's already a straight line. Now the center, go in the center of this piece here and find 12 inches high. This is 12 inches high right here. I'm going to turn it on its side so I can actually see what I'm doing. Now, from there to there, I want a gradual slope. So I'm going to do it freehand. If you're not comfortable doing it freehand, try to use a ruler and just do a gradual slope. Now this curvy part, I want at least 1.5 to 2 inches wide. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to make this nice and thick. So it's nice and thick here, and then come down and go right to that mark. And that's your curvy part, and your bell will be on there. And you can cut this with scissors or with the roller cutter. I find that the inside of here is best with scissors. I can do this just freehand because it doesn't have to be perfect. Once you have your seam allowance, once it's sewn together, it's not going to be that bad. There's that section. I think I need my roller cutter to be sharpened. But there's that section. And I'm going to do the same up here. I'm just going to roller cutter it. Up as high as I can. And then from there, I will just take my scissors and I'll grab it and I will end up cutting this out by hand. These aren't my best scissors. They were the closest ones to me, so I just grabbed them. And just cut that right out. And cut that around. All the way up to the edge. And your elf hat's done. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And there's that section. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sewing this with a seam allowance and turning it right side out. So that's your hat. And then once it's done, and this is turned right side out, we're actually going to be sewing this onto your hat and turning it right side out. So the seam allowance here, it'll be sewn together with the green, and then when you flip it, you'll have a seam right here, and that will be sewn. I'm going to be showing the sewing section on my next video. I just wanted to show you how to cut out the pieces on this video. So the pieces are cut out, and my next video will be sewing it together.